positioning. What ideas, what concepts do we use when we talk about positioning? Start throwing them out. What determines where you're going to stand on a doubles court? Where the ball is. That's number one. Number one is where the ball is or is going to be. All right? And what should we do with the ball? Follow the ball with your feet. Okay? So this is the number one thing, and I say 90% of good positioning is just shifting with the ball. So if I just shift with the ball, I'm going to be in good position most of the time. All right? I'm sure we can think of some exceptions to that, because there are a few. But the first thing you want to do is just pretend that this has a gravitational force. So I say 2 steps is better than 1 step, 1 step is better than no steps. We want to make sure that we're shifting. My tennis pop quiz is this. How many balls do we play with at one time? 1. How many people are on the doubles court? 4. How many people can hit the ball at one time? 1. How many people should be moving? 4. There you go, right. Exactly. Everyone should be moving. And every single time one of us is hitting the ball is an opportunity for you to reposition. At the very least, we should be shifting with the ball. There are other ways you can handle it. You can play more aggressively and come into the net. But the first thing I want you to do is just shift. Okay, so shifting with the ball is number 1. What's number 2 and 3? Is there another indicator where you should be on a doubles court? Partner. Yes, absolutely. So John's my partner. John's over the net right over here. Okay? And the ball is going over there, and they're going to hit across. So John knows this. He's seen this. It's already happened 20 times in our match. He goes for it. He cuts. He's poaching. What do I need to do? Shifting with your partner. This is big time. Okay? Let's do it this way, because I like to see John over there. Ball goes over my head. Whose ball is it? John. Help! He runs back and he gets it. What do? I shift over here. I'm ready for this next ball to come back. So that's working with your partner. There's a couple plays in tennis that should be automatic. If they're not automatic, we need to talk. We need to communicate. Saying help, saying anything as to where you need your partner to be is going to be helpful. Okay, so if these plays aren't automatic, or you're playing with somebody who's not as experienced, you need to get on the same page somehow. Okay, so that is shifting with the ball, and that is working with your partner. What's number 3? I'll give you a hint. Who else is important? Your opponents. Okay? Which opponent?
The one who's going to receive the ball.
Yes, exactly. So John, you're over there. Okay.
Run.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Look how close he is. Okay, so I just told you 90% of the time, if you shift with the ball, which we're going to do right now, I want everyone to shift with this ball, okay? Just walk a couple steps. You ready? Everyone shift. Okay. All right, very good. John, would you just catch this ball for me? Don't hit it, please.
I will try.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have him catch it. All right? Just catch it. Now, I just told you 90% of the time, if you shift with the ball, you're going to be in great position. Come on, let's go. Let's shift. Let's go. Come up here. Don't be shy. Here it is. There we go. Come on up. How do we feel now? Put your racket up. Who's got the ball? He's got the ball. What's wrong with this?
You're too close.
We're gonna get creamed.
Not really.
All right. So this is an obvious exception to shifting with the ball, because he is clearly on offense and we are clearly on defense at this point. So where do we need to be? Let's go. Let's go. I feel better. Don't you? All right, John, thank you so much. Give him a round of applause. Okay, so that is some fundamentals when it comes to positioning. You follow the ball first, you communicate with your partner, and you pay attention to your closest opponent. Very fundamental. All right? We can be more offensive, and we can, especially if we see tendencies. If there's a number 4 to this list, and there is, number 4 is tendencies. If you see something predictable and you know who you're playing, by all means, you can go after that shot. Okay? But stick to the fundamentals first, and as you start to see the plays evolve and your people that you're playing, you're going to see opportunities. All right? Because all this stuff is great, and it's fine. But if you're not actually adjusting and pulling the opponents that are on the other side of the net, they can still beat you. All right. So these are good fundamentals. You gotta know what you're playing to. All right. So one of the other things. How we doing on time, Chris? About 5 minutes. Okay. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go over the timing of the court. Would you come back here in the green for me? Yeah, give me a shake. Okay. So we have different scenarios in tennis, and what I mean by scenarios, I'm going to name a few. We have baseline to baseline. How often do you guys get a baseline to baseline rally in doubles? Not often, but it does happen, right? How often do we practice it? Hopefully not too much. Okay. When you're practicing things, we want to practice things proportionately with how much they actually come into play. If you're going to specialize and you want to work on something specific, by all means do so. But for the most part, we're trying to practice in double-specific scenarios. So baseline to baseline isn't necessarily double-specific, but net to baseline is, baseline to net is, net to net is. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the timing of the court. So I'm going to have you count. All right? I'm going to hit this ball, and I want you to count out loud as yourselves until the ball bounces twice over there. So the second bounce, that's when we're going to stop. Are we ready? Baseline to baseline.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so generally we get around 3 to 4 seconds, or to the count of 7. But around 4 seconds is what we're dealing with. Okay, let's find out how much time that is. Join me on the baseline. We're going to walk for 4 seconds, just on your own count. You ready to go? Okay, so in a baseline to baseline scenario, you have about 4 seconds before that ball bounces the second time, right? How far does we get in 4 seconds? Walking. But we got pretty far. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now a little bit more of a jog, something you would actually, a realistic speed. Ready? 4 seconds. Go. Okay, how much time do we cover now? Middle of the course. Okay, so how do we take advantage of this? Now there's a couple things that come into play here. You'll see some people who like to back up. They want to play back there. And they do so because they're not comfortable up here because there's a lot less time. We're going to see just how much less time we have. But they have a lot of time for back there. So you're going to see people that are comfortable back there, and this is the reason why. Because when you have time, what can you do with the ball? Anything. You can do anything you want with 4 seconds or 3 seconds. Okay, you can get to that ball and you have a lot of options. So, let's stand right here on the service line. Second bounce again. Would you count, please? Ready?
2 seconds.
About half the time, correct? More or less? It's not scientific. This is just demonstration. So, let's walk. 2 seconds. Ready, go. Oh, man. Okay, we're cooking now. All right. So, we have significantly less time when we hit a ball from there, right? So, which means what? They have significantly less reaction time. We worked on reactions on my part. Everyone got to see that. So, our reactions are getting, our timing is getting less and less as we get further into the court. If we're on offense, this is a beautiful thing. If we're on defense, this is starting to get challenging, right? Okay, last one. I'm all the way up on the net. You ready? Start counting.
1, 2. Oh, no time.
No time, right? I mean, for the most part, we can do so much more with the ball because the net's not nearly as much of an obstacle. So we got about 3 to 4 seconds up there. We got about 2.5 seconds right here. And how much reaction time do we have here? Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. This is the timing of the court. So if you can, we have a net player and a baseline player, and I'm transitioning in. Okay, and transition means I'm going from the baseline to the net. Who do I want to hit it to? I'm hitting it from right here. Deep one. Okay, I'm giving them about 2 seconds from here. Okay, and I'm still trying to get into the net. If I can hit it deep, they have 2 seconds. I can hit it back to that net man. I can continue to close in. All right. If I hit it to the net person, Now, first of all, this isn't a bad place to hit it to a net person right here if I can really cream it. Now, if I was back here, I would certainly not want to hit it to the net person because we're talking, like now we're talking about 2.5, 3.5 seconds. They have plenty of time to react. So shot selection-wise, timing-wise, if you're playing baseline, you better be hitting it deep to deep, all right? Because the net player has enough time to react to you that they can do something with the ball. But as I close in, this is why this is so important. As I close in, we're cutting down their reaction time, all right? So if I'm right here, I'm going to play to that deep player. Not only do I have more time to close in, but now I actually have plenty of reaction time to work with as I'm coming in because I hit it to the deeper player. Make sense? Okay. Now, would I ever hit it to the net player? Sure. Especially if I'm right here. Okay? If we're going to start hitting to the net player, we don't necessarily want to do it from back there. We'd much rather do it up here. Okay? All right. Any questions? All right. Good job. We're ready for you.
Come on over, you guys.